Did you know that putting yourself down to motivate and accomplish your goals has long-lasting negative effects on your well-being? So at what cost are you achieving your goals? But before I continue, I first want to welcome you to the Spirit Panda podcast. I'm your host and coach, Nef, and don't forget to subscribe and share this show. In this episode, you will learn how to stay engaged and motivated to achieve your goals without using guilt or shame tactics by creating your own altruistic mission statement. The drive behind the why of the purposeful life you desire. Make sure you watch until the end of the episode for our segment of Ask Nef, in which we will be providing you with 3 steps to build your self-trust and get over circumstances that are holding you back from living your full potential. So let's jump back into our topic for today. How often do you lose interest and want to abandon your goals? Many of us go through the motions of life without ever questioning if we are fulfilled, without asking ourselves if our motives inspire us. In schools, we're taught subjects, we learn math, science, biology, art, and history, without ever being taught how to integrate what we're learning. As a result, we're using only a fraction of our brain's capacity and don't fully understand how to leverage it in our favor. Our social programming from our upbringings hinders us from asking the hard and honest questions to help us pave our unique path. We are conditioned to live our lives like our parents and society expect us to. Become a doctor, lawyer, or engineer to have a stable and happy life. Doing the right thing starts with being a good student. Going to college, picking the right career that will be profitable, get married, buy a home, have kids, and the cycle of life goes on over again. Piece of cake, right? Then why are we struggling with the lack of fulfillment while not truly meeting society's expectations? Don't get me wrong, our parents and society are well-intended. Most of the time. But their ideas and script in living in a modern world are outdated from when we are teenagers. There is no one-size-fits-all. Finding your unique path is not an easy task. So of course we feel lost. These are uncharted waters, and the only person that has the solution to finding your lane is you. So now what? Let's start by scrapping the manual of societal expectations and find what drives our reason for being. We all have one life to enjoy the pleasures it offers us while being purposeful and prideful of what we do. It doesn't matter which of these 3 principles guide you, pride, purpose, or pleasure. You can have it all, but you need to dream and plan for it. As a teenager, I was interested in understanding how the mind functions and how we learn. This fascination led me to embark on deep personal work to heal emotional wounds, trauma, and create a life with meaning. At the same time, my aptitude for math and science provided me with an engineering career in which I frequently used problem-solving tactics. For some years, I felt dissatisfaction in my career and life. I felt like I made a mistake becoming an engineer and didn't believe in myself enough to become a full-time coach. Then one day, it all clicked, and I didn't have to be at odds with myself. I am a sum of my past and new experiences. Coaching and engineering complement each other. We often feel like the answers we seek are one or the other, black or white. But what if it's both? I finally understood how I could merge my passion for engineering problem-solving skills with the fascination of guiding others find their own solutions through coaching while honoring my resilient past by helping elevate human consciousness. My why led me to create a coaching program and this podcast to guide other professionals in designing their unique paths while aspiring to incorporate coaching into schools to help disadvantaged teenagers unleash their inner giants. Finding your why is not an easy task, and it can change over time. Its benefits will be immense though. The bigger your why, the more altruistic it can be, the higher the chance of not relying on motivation that comes and goes. The better the chance you have of completing anything you start. When you have a why that's bigger than yourself, you show up. Your why is a healthy way to motivate yourself without using guilt tactics to see anything through. So here are the 4 questions that I want you to start thinking and meditating about it every day to help you make sense of your life and get you closer to your purpose. What are you good at? What do you feel proud about? What do you love the most? What does the world need? You can't have the fulfilling life without direction. And direction requires clarity that is only accessible to us when our dreams are big enough. So now ask yourself, are your aspirations big enough? Is your why bigger than yourself? Now it's time for our session of Ask Nef. In each episode, we dive into one viewer's question. Today's question comes from Brianna from San Francisco, who asked, how do you gain self-trust? Thank you, Brianna, for this great question that could be an episode of its own. But for purposes of this bite-sized show, I'll be keeping it short and simple. Let's start by defining self-trust, which is your ability to accomplish all sorts of things without judging yourself too harshly. Now, here are the 3 steps to build your self-trust. Step 1, deepening your awareness. What circumstances or decisions have led you to distrust yourself? In order to gain more self-trust, you first need to deepen your awareness of past events that led you to feel self-distrust. List these events. Make time to meditate over a week or more on these events while you journal your insights. When you feel ready, summarize your findings into 2 categories: factual and the story, meaning thoughts, feelings, and opinions. First, create a list of all the factual circumstances, and next to it, write your opinion, thoughts, and emotions related to such events. For purposes of answering this question, let's use the following example. I was in a relationship which I dismissed all the red flags time and time again. The factual event here is I was in a relationship. And the story about such an event was I dismissed all the red flags time and time again. And remember, the facts are always irrefutable. So don't dismiss your emotions, thoughts, or opinions about the circumstances related to the facts. Instead, deepen your understanding to create a degree of separation between you and your obsessive mind. Step 2, encouraging more acceptance. What is possible and within your control? We all need to have healthier boundaries with ourselves and others. Understanding what is within our control and what is not in our circumstances is key. Again, going back to the factual aspects of this example, I was in a relationship is now out of your control. This ship has sailed. It takes more than one person to decide to be in a relationship. So let's now focus on what is within your control. Your perspective and the story related to the circumstances that led you to believe that you dismissed all the red flags in your past relationship. Step 3, increasing your adaptivity. What could you do differently next time? This step is not to guilt or use shame tactics to put yourself down, but instead to learn from the wisdom your pain can offer you. Once you have identified what you are holding over yourself and what needs improvement, now it is time to create a strategic and actionable plan for building your self-trust, starting by incorporating the areas in which you have already identified that could use improvement. Be specific and actionable. For example, don't rush into your next relationship and ignore all red flags. Instead, take things slower, get to know the person better before you fully commit, and talk with a close friend or confidant who is objective and has good discernment of others. And finally, free yourself from the story that doesn't serve you and keeps you held back from your full potential. The self-trust you desire will only come through future tribulations and strategic actions. Learn from your missteps by applying your learning in future circumstances and let everything else go. Thank you again to Brianna for your question. And anyone can submit their questions or topics for future episodes by dropping a comment below or directly emailing me at asknef@spiritpandacoaching.com. Now here's a quick recap on the 3 key components we covered in this episode. Your why is a healthy and effective motivator to accomplish your goals. Self-trust requires strategic and actionable steps to build your confidence. Let go of the stories that don't serve you any longer. And for this week's assignment, you will be crafting your first draft of your why statement and revising it until completion. Do this over the next few days or even weeks, and I highly recommend meditating and journaling on the 4 questions earlier provided to create the draft of your why statement. Like our show? Then hit that subscribe button for new episodes every Sunday. And remember, ability over motivation. Engineering the extraordinary life you desire requires strategic planning and commitment. See you in the next one.